Hello friends, I'm David Voth. Today is September 15th, 2016. It's great to see everybody today, and we have got a story. This should be front page, New York Times, Washington Post, Fox News, CNN. This should be plastered all over the world, but you're not going to see it plastered all over the news because they don't want you to know about this. But friends, before we talk about this berry, just a quick note. As a point in fact, this is not the only berry that can remove cancer from your body. But it's a very good example of what wild fruits, wild berries, wild plants can do. This is why we're supposed to eat only the fruits and wild plants that our Father in heaven made. But let me tell you about this new discovery. It destroys the cancer in your body within 24 hours. Now it's called EBC46. Now they've made some sort of an extraction so they can sort of inject this right into the tumor. And it says that a single injection, one single injection of this berry juice right into the melanoma removes it. They say it works with tumors in the head, the neck, the colon, practically anywhere. They've tested it on animals and it destroys the tumor. And it says in these trials where they injected it into their animals, within 5 minutes you see a purpling of the area that looks like a bruise. Let's read that again. Within 5 minutes you see a purpling of the area that looks like a bruise. And about 24 hours later, that tumor goes black. It takes another couple of days and then you see a scab. And at around 1 week, the scab falls off, leaving a clean skin with no tumor. This is nothing more than miraculous. Absolutely miraculous. Now, with this kind of information, what is our government going to do? You see these politicians running around, oh, we're going to fix the healthcare system, right? We're just working so hard, right? We've been working on this thing for about 100 years. Oh, we just don't know what we're going to do. Now the insurance company's charging more money, and it's like, oh, we need more drugs, and we more, x-rays, and, more CAT scans, and, oh, boy, what are we going to do? We just don't know what we're going to do. Well, you see, they're liars, because, you see, they know what to do. You see, the people back at the headquarters where they're figuring this stuff out, the scientists, they know what to do. They've known what to do for a long time. This is not the only case. I'm just giving you one particular example. This is very clearly a very good example. But this is absolutely amazing. Now, the drug that they're making from this berry is being developed. But you see what they're going to end up doing, friends, is ruining it. Instead of just telling people to go out there and eat these wild fruits and berries, what they're going to do is try to extract this drug to see if they can make a pill that costs you about $1,000 a whack, but they're going to probably leave out certain parts of this so that it doesn't really work. And then you're going to be like, oh, well, it never really worked. Oh, I guess it was just, we're going to have to go back to the chemotherapy because we can make more money on that. Oh my goodness, friends, this is absolutely insane. So there's not really much more to say. I mean, we've just said it all. Let me just say it again. One single injection of this berry juice starts to work within just 5 minutes. Within 24 hours, the tumor area goes black. In a couple of days, you see a scab. A little over a week, the scab falls off and leaves a clean skin. There is no more tumor. Period. Enough said. You guys, start eating some wild fruits that grow right out in your backyard. You don't need to go to Australia to find this particular berry. You can go out here in Texas and get the no-gal berry. They say that's really healthy and it's curing cancer. You can go get a peach and take the peach pit or the apple seeds, grind them up. They're taking this for cancer in Mexico. It's illegal in this state. Huh, I wonder why it's illegal. Well, let's see. Oh, it cures cancer, and that's a good thing, so we got to make that illegal. Well, looks to me like this berry's going to be illegal here pretty quick, friends. You better run out and get you some right now, all right? Because they're trying to keep you from the cure. So, I mean, probably there are hundreds and thousands of things you could do. Many plants are either inflammatory or anti-inflammatory. They have certain properties, and all of them tend to make one healthy because it's the thing that our Father in heaven tells us we're supposed to do. And it says that the leaves of the trees were for the healing of the nations. Our Father in heaven made the herbs for our healing. Let's start using them, friends. And let's hope that the government approves this medicine so that people can get well. I wish it was here when my mother was alive because she could have used it, friends. I'm very angry because you might say that basically they're all murderers. All of our politicians are murderers because they don't approve these things that they know work, that clinical tests say works. So, friends, I'm going to go ahead and go, and I'm going to show you this clip. I hope you guys have a great day. This is David Vos signing out.
Good job. Thank you. The words cure and cancer don't often go together, but a single injection of a berry found only in Australia's far north is now thought to cure many types of cancer. It's being tested on animals at death's door and now on humans, making tumours disappear in just 48 hours.
In the depths of the Queensland rainforest grows a small seed with huge potential.
This is an extraordinary drug. It's a unique drug, and it really is something quite different.
Derived only from Australia's blushwood tree, EBC46 is a molecule that can fight cancer.
A full tumour destruction within 7 days.
Following astonishing results shrinking solid tumours in animals like Oscar, world-first human trials have now begun. For melanoma sufferer Denise Powell, joining the trial was a chance to avoid amputation.
My cancer surgeon said, I can take that one out. If you get any more, then you might lose an arm.
Instead of more surgery, EBC46 was injected directly into the tumour in Denise's armpit.
Less than 20 minutes, the tumour had gone purple, then black. Then within a couple of days, the tumour just kind of shriveled up and died.
This first stage trial is using safe, low doses, but even early results look promising.
Surgery treats most tumours, about 60% of them worldwide, and to do that you need an operating theatre, but with EBC46 you could go along anywhere.
When injected, EBC46 triggers an immune response, activating white blood cells to attack the tumour and shrinking it to nothing. So far, the treatment targets solid tumours such as melanomas and cancers of the head, neck and breast cancer. If this rainforest remedy is found to be safe and effective in humans, it could offer a whole new treatment option for cancer patients, especially the elderly, who can't face another round of chemo or go back under the knife. The second, larger phase of the trial begins next year. Dr. Andrew Rochford, 7 News.
Dr. Caldwell, I've seen a couple of your videos in the past, and one of them I thought was interesting that you said every cancer can be cured in 2 to 6 weeks. Can you talk a little bit more about that, and what are some of the ways that that's possible?
In my experience, every cancer can be cured in 2 to 16 weeks. Some cancers can be cured in minutes because every doctor in the world that's in office for 20 years or longer knows cases of spontaneous healing. There's even a book out called Spontaneous Healing by a guy I really don't like, and just stating that there are cases of spontaneous healing. That means if it's possible, we just have to find a way to access this. That's number one. So we all know about these. It also happened very often when people go to Lourdes or to these religious places, and it's not really the place that cures them, it's the expectation and the way to that place that cures them. The second, you get rid of acidosis and toxemia. The second, the body gets alkaline and oxygen rich. With juicing a lot of greens like chlorophylls, everything that's green has a lot of chlorophyll, gives the body a lot of oxygen. Getting your body alkaline with good calcium, with good nutrition, with good trace supplements, trace minerals. will help to alkalize the body. So that means the second you are alkaline, the cancer already stops. It can take a couple of days, a couple of weeks, but it stops. You get the body to a healing pH level, which the pH scale goes from 0 to 14. So 7 is neutral, and you need to be slightly alkaline. 7.36 is ideal. But in the healing phase, you should go up to 7.5. It's a little bit over-alkalizing the system. A great friend of mine, Dr. Martin in Germany, is using oxygen more step therapy, for example, where you take the blood out, you get ionized oxygen, and you lead the blood back in. And you do this 12 times, and you have basically brand new blood like a newborn baby. So you already eliminated the lack of oxygen. You see the blood coming out looks like black. They put the oxygen in and it becomes pink. And it's like legal doping. You get it and you feel so energized and you're so vital. And there are, we know basically with what I used, what my MDs in Europe used is vitamin C injections, intravenous vitamin C injections, 100 cc's a day, 3 times a week. That's what we used in certain cases more often. And very often, believe it or not, in my personal experience, the tumors or the cancerous growth was basically gone within a couple of days. And because vitamin C is so powerful and one of the greatest healers out there, you can fix nearly every heart problem, cardiovascular problem with vitamin C. They want to take it off the market. So it's going to become a prescription medication, and then it's synthetic and will not work anymore, like vitamin E. Vitamin E basically helps you to cure very easy and fast blood pressure problems in any way, shape, or form. That's why they made a study with artificially created vitamin E, chemical created vitamin E. Said, see, it doesn't work. No, of course not. Chemicals don't work. Nature works. If nature creates a problem, nature creates a solution. Very simple and easy. If it didn't exist 100 years ago, you don't need it today. It's very, very simple. And when you want to help somebody to educate themselves, to eliminate his or her own cancer really, really fast, I would basically start instantly with a vegan diet or with a raw food diet. My friend Paul Nissan is one of the greatest raw food chefs. He has fantastic books out there about raw food, so it's accessible for a couple of bucks how to do it. He has free videos all over his website. And I would go instantly on a raw food diet. I would go make sure, if I don't have a very rare kidney disease, to drink a gallon of water a day with half a teaspoon of sea salt in it a day, because we need salt for every body function. We need electricity. And this electricity can only be produced with enough salt, basically. So if you have a lack of salt, you have a blood pressure problem.
See, and we're not supposed to have salt, though, too, especially if we have high blood pressure. That's what we're told.
Okay, it's the opposite. The problem is they are talking about table salt. Very often, table salt is 1/3 glass, 1/3 sand, and 1/3 salt. So the glass or the sand is scratching the arteries, and they start to bleed. So now cholesterol goes there to stop it from, to make you survive, to stop it from bleeding, so that you don't bleed to death internally. So now they say the cholesterol all of a sudden is the cause of the high blood pressure because it narrows the bloodways. And that's completely absurd, because you die of not enough cholesterol. You do not die of too much. There are people with a cholesterol of 600, perfectly healthy, never been sick in their lifetime. So what do you do with a patient in a burn unit? You give them 20 to 25 hard-boiled eggs a day, because they know only cholesterol can rebuild brand new healthy cells really, really fast. Nearly 87% of a cell is built from cholesterol. So where does the new cell potential or foundation come from if you have a lack of cholesterol? Everybody should have at least 250 combined cholesterol. And then they tell you LDL and HDL are good and bad cholesterols. It's not even cholesterol. It's a protein that transports cholesterol. So they are too stupid to even narrow it down the right way. So if you look at the facts, and if you look what they know and what they don't know, you know that Dr. Gary Null stated it, and a lot of other people. The medical profession, the medical doctor statistically has the shortest lifespan of 56 years of age. the highest abuse rate of alcohol and drugs, the highest suicide rate, only the psychiatrist is higher. And so you go to somebody that has the lowest lifespan, highest suicide rate, highest drug abuse rate, to ask them how to have a healthy, happy, long life. I think we should rethink our way of thinking.
The man known as Dr. Sebi claims to have found the cure for several life-threatening diseases, including AIDS. Too good to be true? Well, you be the judge. The lump in Myrtle Rick's left breast is gone.
I haven't had any symptoms or problems, anything.
Sabrina Peterson's son no longer disabled by sickle cell anemia.
He has a lot of energy. I have to make him rest.
Disease is cured by this man. His name is Dr. Sebi, but you won't find a medical degree hanging from his wall. Instead, a certificate of healing.
We have complex things with science, but if we go back to God and use the herbs as God said, then you can see how simple it is. Then
Dr. Sebi believes what ails you can be cured with natural alkali herbs and a vegetarian diet solely made up of what he calls electric foods, mushrooms, greens, and rye breads without starch.
Hippocrates established the principle of medical science by using herbs to cure diseases, then why the physician using the chemicals?
40 years ago, a doctor in Mexico cured Sebi of diabetes, asthma, and obesity with the very same herbs and diet he dispenses to all of his patients, whether they're suffering from lack of energy or full-blown AIDS.
That package is an intracellular chelation. I'm removing plaque from the system. I'm removing inflammation. That is the base for all disease.
And according to a medical affidavit provided by Dr. Sebi, it's working. It shows a patient diagnosed with HIV in November of 1993 was cured 2 months later. Thousands of patients worldwide swear by his methods and natural herbal medicines.
In the tiny village, Lisa sought guidance for body and soul from an herbal guru named Dr. Sebi.
Dr. Sebi, according to him, can cure anything. Everything from trying to lose weight to looking for a cure for AIDS. People go there with hopes and dreams that Dr. Sebi can somehow save them.
She had been through so many intense problems in her career and in her life and in her personal life that she didn't know where to turn. And this doctor, she said, had shown her how to really open up and cleanse all of the negativity out of her.
She told me she was suffering with alcoholism and that she was smoking excessively, cigarettes, drinking and smoking. She asked me, what do I need to do to stay on the side of peace? I said, fast, do what Jesus did. She said, what did Jesus do? He fasted for 40 days and 40 nights.
Midway through her 40-day ordeal, an obviously gaunt Lisa spoke with MTV News.
I've been polluting my body for 30 years. 40 days is not a long time to me to fast. 40 days represents overcoming death. It's the number of days that Jesus fasted for, and I kind of feel like I'm on a journey sometimes. Don't really know quite where I'm headed.
At the ending of the fasting, she came to me. I heard the door opening at 2 o'clock in the morning. She said, I completed my fast this morning. I said, what did you see? I saw God. She said, I'm going to make you famous. I said, how? Because I'm going to talk about you. Does everyone know you cure AIDS and cancer?
There's just a lot of people in the world who are suffering. They're sick. They're not happy. They're looking for answers. They don't know where to turn. Well, I know a man who's been curing AIDS since 1987. This guy has taught me a lot, and I need to share my knowledge, with the world.
When we have a feeling in our hearts, we're creating electrical and magnetic waves inside of our bodies that extend beyond our bodies into the world around us. And what's so interesting is the research shows that those waves extend not just 1 meter or 2 meters, many, many kilometers beyond where our heart physically resides. So right now in this room is having an effect on Italy beyond this building, beyond these walls. And you'll see this afternoon when many, many people get together with one feeling, many hearts come together and create one feeling, it can change the world, and you'll see just how much. But it's only a miracle until we understand the science. Then it's no longer a miracle, it becomes a technology, a powerful internal technology. So this film was created in a medicineless hospital in Beijing, China. Medicineless hospital, no medicine hospital. I like that hospital. This film shows a woman who has been diagnosed with a cancer in her bladder, a 3-inch diameter cancer in her bladder, and Western doctors say they can do nothing. They say, we can't help you. So she has gone to a clinic in China where they think differently, and they apply the technology from the ancient wisdom that is the same as the science that we just saw. So what you will see is this. There are 3 practitioners, 3 people trained to feel just the right feeling, the precise, correct feeling in their hearts. They create the feeling as if the woman is already healed. They create the feeling as if the woman is already healed. Now we will look inside of her body through a sonogram, through ultrasound. We can look into her body and we can watch her cancer disappear in 3 minutes in the presence of the language that heals. Does that make sense? Are you okay with that? Does that make sense? Would you like to see that? Okay, good. So what you will see is the woman is awake, she is conscious, she has no anesthetic, she believes in the process, she believes in what is happening. And there are 3 practitioners who are trained to create the feeling in their bodies as if the woman is already healed. And then on the computer screen, we will see 2 images. One image is before the healing, and one image is actual time, real time, so we can see the healing happen. And while the healing is happening, you will hear the practitioners chant a word. And I want you to know there is no magic in the word. It could be any word. But this word is the word that they have chosen that reinforces for them, that tells them the feeling. So they agreed that this is the word that would create the feeling for them. But it could be any word. I want you to know that. So I'm explaining this now, and we'll explain it again as we go through the film.
Over 8 years, the center has successfully treated more than 180 types of illnesses, including bladder cancer.
看到了没有？就是在这个膀胱 三角球的左侧有和一个压弧，这么一个。发气，各位老师，咱们一块用力量发气。身体的静开始往散，遥控的听人声，哗哗哗，散散哗散哗散哗散哗散哗散，小了哗散哗对散哗散哗散，看那个看得下去的，学习放松。人就想了一下就彻底散松，你放松啊，老师在这儿，散，共同散，哗散，哗散，哗散，哗散，哗散，小了，站正，好，散，哗散，没了，没了，没了，没了，没了，没了，没了，没了，没了，再站正，哗散，没了，没了，没了，没了，没了，哗站正，没了，没了，没了，好，没了，没了，没了，散，散，散，再站正，散，散，消除场，散，没了。没了，没了，没了，没了，把场打破，没了，没了，没了，没了，没了，好了，没了，好了，没了，没了，好了，好，好了，好了，二号，能看出来，这是您，几秒？几分？10分钟下来，那个6分钟哈，6分钟那个上来，好，没了。
She's awake, she's conscious. There are 3 practitioners behind her. And here is the tumor, right here. The black is the emptiness of her bladder. This is the tumor. And now they take a snapshot for reference, a snapshot now. Okay, this is the real time. So this is now reference. This is actual time. This right here. Okay. This is 2 minutes, 40 seconds. 2 minutes, 40 seconds. This, on the left-hand side, is the reference tumor. On the right-hand side, the tumor is gone. In the Western way of thinking, modern science says this is a miracle because they do not understand the field that connects everything, and they do not understand the language that speaks to that field. But once we understand, that is no longer a miracle, that is a technology. And you listen to the chant. Wa sa 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 sa. Okay, the word that they are using, wasa, loosely translated, means already happened. It's already done. In their mind and in their heart, they're coming from the place that the healing has already happened. Not that it's going to happen, and not that it's about to happen, or that it's a long, slow happening, that it has already happened. And this is important because the field of energy that we are about to discuss is a mirror. A mirror, it reflects our feeling of what we are experiencing in the moment. So if our belief is that our healing is about to happen, or that our perfect relationship will come to us someday, or that our abundance in the bank will happen someday, the field will keep reflecting someday, 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 because it is open-ended. There is no outcome. There is no conclusion. This is a very subtle, very powerful understanding of how this field works. This field that we're about to discuss now, the divine matrix, is a field that mirrors now, not in the future, not in the past, this moment. So what we choose to experience in our lives, we must first feel in our hearts as if it has already happened. And this is something that happens all the time in this part of the world. It's not one-time only healing. They do this all the time. But when Western scientists see this, it makes no sense, because Western science says that our beliefs and our feelings and our emotions have no effect on the world outside of our bodies. But we know that that's not true. The experiments that we showed just before the break, the 3 experiments, what they showed is that human DNA has a direct effect on our physical world. 1. Number 2, they showed that human emotion changes the DNA that is changing our physical world. And it's happening because there's a field that connects everything together. The experiments suggest that Max Planck's matrix, this matrix, is the conduit. Now, the idea that everything is connected is a very old idea. Even in science, in the late 1800s, there was a belief that there was an invisible web of energy that connects everything in the 1800s. And scientists were in a very heated debate, very controversial, as to whether or not this field exists. There was a very famous experiment that was conducted to determine if the field called the ether field actually existed. In the year 1887, the very famous Michelson-Morley experiment was designed to tell once and for all, is the field here or no? Yes or no? The field exists? It does not exist. In my opinion, it was a good experiment. However, it was poorly interpreted. For over 100 years, our science has been based in a belief that is incorrect. It's incorrect. Now, this is very interesting. 100 years later, 1986, the United States Air Force repeated that experiment. 1986, the United States Air Force replicated the Michelson-Morley experiment. They published the results in the very prestigious journal Nature, the scientific journal Nature. What they found was this. They repeated the experiment with good equipment, much better equipment. The bottom line is that the field exists. They found that the field is actually there. This is reported in August 1986, the journal Nature, volume 322. They said, the field is there. And not only is the field there, it measured precisely the way that Michelson and Morley had predicted 100 years earlier. They just didn't have the equipment to work this out. Now, why don't we know about this? This should have made the cover of every major magazine and newspaper. This should have been on CNN headline news or Sky News. But this changes everything for the scientists, because the textbooks all say the field is not there. Entire careers are based on the field not being there. And now the field is there.
Rick Schiff, I'm an 11-year veteran of the San Francisco Police Department. I hold the department's highest Medal of Honor for bravery. That used to mean a lot more to me than it does now. What I'd like to talk to you about today is my now 7-year-old daughter. This is an identical twin. Her sister is now dead. Her sister, when she was 4 years old, Kristen, developed a highly malignant brain tumor that had spread throughout her spine and her brain. The doctors told us that we had really two options: take her home, let her die, or bring her in for massive dosages of chemo and radiation simultaneously. In either event, she was going to die. They were quite certain of that, and very quickly. Believing her only chance to be the standard route, we gave her the chemo and radiation. It burned her skull so bad she had second-degree burns and her hair never came back. To change her diapers, we had to wear rubber gloves because her urine was so toxic and it burned her. At the end of 6 months, miraculously, she survived the standard treatment, although there was a high expectation she wouldn't. She still had cancer. We were told, sorry, we've done everything we can. Now she's going to die, probably within a couple of months. My wife and I, choosing not to accept that, started reading. The first book I picked up, the 3rd chapter, discussed Dr. Brzezinski. As you may guess, I have some expertise in fraud. In fact, I'm quite certain there are enough attorneys in the room that I could be vordeered as an expert in fraud. And I conducted my own investigation. I have no doubt the man is not a fraud. I have no doubt that he does what he does out of earnest belief that his medicine works. And now you're in a position to judge for yourselves whether it works or not. But it's well established by the FDA that it's non-toxic. 18 months later, we took my daughter off the anti-neoplastin. She had not died. She had no signs of tumor. She remained free for 18 months of cancer. Within a month, the cancer was widespread in her brain. We put her back on Brzezinski's. By the way, at the objections of our doctors, for some reason felt that it had failed her. We put her back on. Within 9 weeks, the tumor was completely gone. She died last July of neurological necrosis. Her brain fell apart from the radiation. The autopsy showed that she was completely cancer-free. Out of 52 cases of that disease ever, no one died cancer-free, just Chrissy. So she didn't die of a terminal illness. She died of my inability to care for her properly, and she died from bad advice. She died because there's a government institution that disseminates false information and is not looking out for the welfare of the people. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I swore an oath 11 years ago, and I think most of us in this room swore it at one time or another, to uphold the Constitution. It says life right in the beginning.